Welcome. Today we're diving into Atomic Habits by James Clear, where we'll explore how small changes can lead to big results. We'll cover the core principles of habit formation and practical tips to help you build lasting habits. By the end, you'll have everything you need to start improving your habits in your life. Do you ever feel stuck? Like you're trying so hard to make progress, but nothing seems to change? Well, what if I told you the key to transforming your life isn't about massive leaps, but tiny, consistent steps? Welcome to the world of Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book that reveals how small changes, compounded over time, can lead to extraordinary results. Imagine improving just 1% every single day. That may seem insignificant, but over a year, that tiny improvement compounds into a whopping 37 times better version of yourself. But here's the catch. The reverse is also true. If you let bad habits take over, even by a small margin, your life can spiral in the wrong direction just as easily. So what's the secret to making these tiny changes actually stick? It all boils down to understanding the science of habits, how they're formed, how they work, and how they can shape your identity. It's not about setting huge goals and hoping for the best. It's about building a system where your daily habits naturally align with the life you want to create. Let's dive deeper into how Atomic Habits can help you unlock the surprising power of tiny changes and finally take control of your habits. Let's start with the basics. Why are habits so powerful? Think of habits as the building blocks of your daily life. Every action you repeat, no matter how small, contributes to shaping who you are and what you achieve. James Clear explains that habits operate through a loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. It's a system your brain uses to automate behaviors, saving energy for more complex decisions. For example, let's say you always feel sluggish in the afternoon. That's your cue. You crave a boost, so you grab a cup of coffee, that's your response, and feel energized afterward. That feeling is your reward, reinforcing the cycle to happen again tomorrow. Now here's where the magic of tiny habits comes in. Big transformations often feel overwhelming, so we procrastinate or quit. But tiny habits? They're manageable, achievable, and most importantly, sustainable. Clear argues that instead of focusing on dramatic changes, you should aim for small improvements. Over time, these improvements compound, just like interest in a bank account. Think about this. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to start with one small step, repeated consistently. These small steps will set off a chain reaction, creating a system of success that aligns with the identity you want to build. And that's the real secret of habits. They're not just about what you do, they're about who you become. Want to be healthier? Start identifying as someone who takes care of their body. Want to be a reader? Start identifying as someone who reads every day, even if it's just one page. It's these small, consistent actions that define your trajectory. Good or bad, the power lies in your hands to choose. Are you ready to take that first step? So how do we actually build good habits and break bad ones? James Clear introduces the 4 laws of behavior change, a simple framework to guide us. These laws act as the foundation for making habits stick. Let's break them down. Law number 1, make it obvious habits start with a cue, something that triggers the behavior. If you want to build a good habit, you need to make the cue impossible to miss. For example, if you want to start drinking more water, place a water bottle on your desk where you'll see it all day. Clear also suggests using habit stacking. This means attaching a new habit to something you already do. For instance, after brushing your teeth, you might decide to do 10 push-ups. By linking the two, the new habit becomes easier to remember. Law number 2, make it attractive. Let's face it, we're more likely to do things we find enjoyable. So, pair your habit with something you love. This is called temptation bundling. Want to exercise but dread it? Only let yourself watch your favorite show while you're on the treadmill. The idea here is to tap into the brain's reward system. When a habit feels rewarding, you're more likely to stick with it. Law number 3, make it easy. Here's the truth. If something feels hard, you'll avoid it. That's why Clear emphasizes reducing friction. Want to start reading more? Keep a book by your bedside table instead of buried in a drawer. Then there's the 2-minute rule. Shrink your habit into something so small it's impossible to fail. For example, instead of saying, I'll run 5 miles, start with putting on your running shoes. Once you've started, momentum will often carry you further. Law number 4, make it satisfying. Finally, habits stick when they're rewarding. Our brains crave instant gratification, so create a system that provides it. For example, use a habit tracker. Seeing those check marks grow is deeply satisfying. On the flip side, if you're trying to break a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. Ask a friend to hold you accountable or create consequences for slipping up. By applying these 4 laws, make it obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, you can design habits that work for you, not against you. Small steps, big results. It's all in the process. Breaking bad habits can feel like an uphill battle, but James Clear's approach makes it more manageable by flipping the 4 laws of behavior change on their heads. Let's explore how to dismantle bad habits while reinforcing good ones. To break a bad habit, you need to reverse each of the 4 laws. 1. Make it invisible. Bad habits start with a cue. To stop them, eliminate the cue altogether. For example, if you're trying to cut back on junk food, keep it out of your house or stash it in a place where you won't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. 2. Make it unattractive. Habits are driven by cravings, so reframe how you think about your bad habits. For instance, instead of seeing smoking as a stress reliever, focus on how it harms your health or drains your wallet. Change the narrative, and you'll reduce the desire. 3. Make it difficult. Increase friction to make the bad habit harder to perform. If you're spending too much time on social media, log out of your accounts or delete the apps from your phone. Each extra step adds resistance and makes you less likely to engage. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Finally, attach negative consequences to the habit. Share your goals with a friend who can hold you accountable. For example, if you overspend, you might have to transfer an amount to a savings account or pay a penalty to a trusted friend. For good habits, it's all about persistence and momentum. Embrace the Goldilocks rule. People stay motivated when a task is challenging enough to be engaging, but not so difficult that it feels impossible. Find that sweet spot for your habits. If a workout routine is too hard, start smaller. If it's too easy, add a bit of intensity. Understand the plateau of latent potential. When you start a new habit, progress might feel invisible at first. This is normal. Like an ice cube melting, the breakthrough happens after consistent effort. Trust the process, even when you don't see immediate results. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are important, but systems, the daily actions and routines, are what lead to success. Instead of focusing on running a marathon, focus on becoming someone who runs every day. Leverage habit tracking. Visual cues like habit trackers can be incredibly motivating. They provide a sense of accomplishment and encourage you to maintain streaks. Breaking bad habits and creating good ones isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Remember, the key is to start small, stay consistent, and trust the compounding power of tiny changes over time. Most people set goals when they want to improve their lives, like losing weight, earning more money, or getting fitter. But James Clear argues that focusing on goals alone isn't enough. The real key to lasting success lies in your systems. Think about this. A goal is the destination, but a system is the process that gets you there. Let's use running a marathon as an example. The goal might be to complete the marathon, but your system includes your training schedule, nutrition plan, and recovery routine. Without a strong system in place, the goal remains out of reach. Now here's the twist. Once you achieve a goal, what's next? Many people fall back into old habits because they didn't build a sustainable system. For example, someone who loses weight for a wedding might revert to unhealthy eating afterward because their focus was on the event, not on becoming a healthy person. Systems, on the other hand, create lasting change because they reshape your daily behaviors. Clear also highlights that goals can sometimes backfire. Focusing too much on the finish line can make the process feel like a chore, leading to burnout or frustration. Systems, however, are designed to keep you moving forward by making progress a natural part of your life. So instead of saying, I want to write a book, focus on a system like writing 500 words every morning. Instead of saying, I want to get fit, Commit to exercising for 30 minutes a day. By prioritizing systems, the results take care of themselves. In the end, success isn't a single achievement. It's the product of the habits you consistently practice. Build better systems, and you'll create a better life. Have you ever worked tirelessly toward a goal, only to feel like you're not making any progress? It's frustrating, right? That's what James Clear calls the plateau of latent potential, the period where your efforts seem to produce no visible results. Imagine an ice cube sitting in a freezing room. The temperature is rising, degree by degree, but nothing happens. Then, at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the ice begins to melt. That's the tipping point, a small change that triggers a visible transformation. But what about all the effort before that? Was it wasted? Absolutely not. Those small temperature increases were crucial to reaching the tipping point. The same principle applies to habits. Early on, progress is often invisible. You might spend weeks eating healthier, but the scale barely moves. You might practice a new skill daily, but feel like you're not improving. It's easy to get discouraged and quit. But here's the truth. Habits work through compounding. The results of your efforts are delayed, but they're building beneath the surface. Every tiny action is like laying a brick, and over time, those bricks form a solid foundation. Clear reminds us that mastery requires patience. You're not failing. You're in the process of storing potential energy. When the tipping point finally arrives, the progress will seem sudden and dramatic, but it's really the result of all those invisible efforts you made before. So when you feel stuck or tempted to give up, remember the ice cube. Keep putting in the work, even if you don't see immediate results. Every small action is a step closer to your breakthrough moment. The plateau of latent potential teaches us one of the most valuable lessons in habit formation. Success is a lagging measure. The results of your new habits will come, but they require patience, consistency, and trust in the process. Whether it's improving your fitness, growing a business, or mastering a skill, the progress you're seeking is often just beyond the point where most people quit. If you can endure the plateau and stay consistent, you'll eventually experience the compounding effects of your habits and achieve the transformation you've been working toward. Keep going. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. One of the most powerful ways to shape your habits is by designing your environment to support them. James Clear emphasizes that your surroundings play a huge role in determining your behavior, often more than willpower or motivation alone. If you want to change your habits, the best place to start is by changing your environment. Think about it. Our environments are constantly triggering certain behaviors. If you keep junk food in easy reach, you're more likely to eat it. If your phone is within arm's reach, you'll find yourself scrolling through social media. But when you design your environment to encourage positive habits, it becomes easier to make the right choices. Clear explains that instead of relying on willpower to resist temptations, you should aim to remove those temptations from your environment altogether. For example, if you want to stop watching TV at night, make it harder to access by unplugging it or hiding the remote. On the other hand, to encourage good habits, make cues for those behaviors as visible and easy as possible. Want to read more? Place a book on your pillow or next to your favorite chair so it's the first thing you see when you sit down. Another key strategy is to surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to build. We naturally mimic the behaviors of those around us, so spending time with people who prioritize health, learning, or productivity can push you in the right direction. In short, your environment shapes your habits more than you might realize. By intentionally structuring your surroundings to support the habits you want to create, you can make positive behaviors easier and bad ones harder, setting yourself up for long-term success. Once you've grasped the basics of habit formation and behavior change, it's time to dive into some advanced techniques that can take your habit mastery to the next level. James Clear explores several concepts that can help fine-tune your approach, making your habits even more effective and sustainable. The Goldilocks Rule, finding the sweet spot. The Goldilocks Rule is all about maintaining motivation. It suggests that people are most engaged when they are working on tasks that are neither too easy nor too difficult, just the right amount of challenge. If a task feels too easy, you'll lose interest. But if it's too difficult, you'll become frustrated. The trick is to find that sweet spot where the task is challenging enough to keep you engaged but not so overwhelming that it causes burnout. For example, if you're learning to play the guitar, don't just practice simple chords. Push yourself to learn new songs and techniques that challenge your skills but remain achievable. The role of feedback loops. Feedback loops are essential for improving and refining your habits. Positive feedback loops occur when a habit brings rewards or satisfaction, reinforcing the behavior and encouraging repetition. For instance, when you exercise and feel energized afterward, the positive feelings act as feedback that motivates you to keep going. Negative feedback loops, on the other hand, can prevent you from sticking to good habits. If a habit feels frustrating or unproductive, it's easy to quit. That's why it's crucial to celebrate small wins and track progress, to create a reinforcing loop of positive feedback. Even small rewards like marking off days on a habit tracker or recognizing incremental improvements can keep you motivated. How genetics and personality affect habit formation. Clear also discusses how your genetics and personality can influence how easily you can form certain habits. For example, if you're naturally more inclined to be a morning person, creating a habit of early rising will be easier. If you're more introverted, building a habit of socializing might be more challenging. Understanding your own tendencies can help you design habits that fit your natural rhythm and personality, making it easier to stay consistent. For example, if you know you're not a morning person, don't try to force yourself into a morning workout routine. Instead, focus on making an evening habit routine work better for you. The power of habit reflection and revision. As you grow and evolve, your habits should evolve with you. One advanced strategy is regularly reflecting on your habits and revising them as needed. As you achieve some of your goals, you might outgrow certain habits or feel the need to adjust them to fit your new aspirations. Regular reflection helps you identify what's working, what's not, and where you need to tweak your systems to continue progressing. Habit mastery, becoming the best version of yourself. Mastering your habits is ultimately about personal growth. The goal isn't just to perform a behavior, it's to develop a deeper sense of identity. The more you reinforce a positive habit, the more it becomes a part of who you are. You become someone who values health, productivity, or creativity, whatever habits you choose to develop. By consistently working on your habits, refining them, and making adjustments, you transform not only your actions but also your identity. The journey of habit mastery is never about perfection, but continual progress, growth, and the pursuit of becoming the best version of yourself. These advanced techniques aren't about making huge leaps. They're about small, nuanced changes that can help you refine your approach to habit formation and make your habits even more powerful and effective. Becoming the best version of yourself isn't about achieving a single goal or completing a checklist. It's about continuously refining your habits and behaviors over time. As James Clear shows in Atomic Habits, the real transformation happens not through dramatic overnight changes, but by committing to small, consistent improvements that build on each other. The habits you form shape your identity. Every time you choose a positive action, no matter how small, you reinforce the person you want to become. And as these habits compound, they create lasting changes in every aspect of your life, from your health to your career to your relationships. Ultimately, the process of becoming the best version of yourself is about aligning your daily actions with your values and goals. It's about creating systems that support who you want to be rather than relying solely on motivation or willpower. By focusing on tiny atomic habits and the systems that nurture them, you can unlock the potential to achieve far more than you ever thought possible. So the question is, what small change will you make today to begin your journey of transformation? Thanks for watching. I hope you're inspired to start making small changes today. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, and subscribe. What habit are you working on? Let me know in the comments.